simplifying exponential statements. So what we're doing today is basically we're combining a lot of what we've been doing up to this point. And so we just need to do a few things to remind ourselves what we've been learning, and then we're going to combine them all together. So first, we need to remember how to switch from an exponential form, from exponent to radical form, and vice versa. So if you remember, we just bring my 5x down, put it in parentheses. Okay, remember the fourth root is the denominator of my exponent, and the 7 stays on the top as my numerator. So the fourth root of 5x to the 7th power is the same thing as 5x to the power of 7/4. Okay, and similarly, we have this one. We're going to bring down my 8a and put it inside my root. The 5 is what my root is going to be, so it's going to be the 5th root of 8a, and all of this goes to the power of 3. Okay, so we did an assignment like this just a few days ago, and that's how we switch from exponential to radical form and vice versa. So you will be doing this a lot in today's assignment. So just remember your denominator is whatever your root is, and your power exponent is just going to stay up there. So once again, your radical becomes your denominator, and your numerator just stays what your power is. Okay, we also need to remember how to simplify radicals. So here we have a cube root, which means we're going to be looking for things are in groups of 3. So 125 breaks down to 5 times 25. 5 is prime. 25 breaks down to 5 and 5. And then over here we have our 4x's. Okay, now we find our groups of 3, which here is a group of 3. So remember, those cross out, and my 5 escapes from the radical. And then here I have these 3 x's. Those 2 don't make it, and this x escapes. And then I'm left with the cube root of what's left inside. In this case is just my x, because that's the only thing left. So that's remember that's how we simplify. Remember, if it's a square root, we just find groups of 2. So this number tells you how many groups you're trying to find when we simplify it down. Okay? Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to combine those together. So here's the steps for what I'm going to be doing today. First, I'm going to rewrite the expression. So either from an exponential or a radical to exponential. We're actually going to be mainly just doing exponential radicals. Then we're going to simplify that radical, and then we're going to take care of the exponent. That's my third step. So these are the 3 steps of what I'm doing today. Excuse me. So let's take a look at a couple examples. Alright, so here we have x to the 9th, parentheses to the 5/3. So the first thing we are going to do is rewrite the expression. So we're going to make a root. We have x to the 9th power. My 3 from the new denominator becomes my root, and this is all to the power of 5. Okay, so I rewrote the expression. Now I need to simplify the radical. Okay, so here's my radical. I'm going to simplify it. So we're going to break down. X to the 9th power is just x times 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 x. And we're finding groups of 3. So here's a group of 3. One of the x's escapes. Here's a group of 3. One of the x's escape. And here's a group of 3. Those 2 cross out, and that x escapes. Okay, so what am I left with after I have simplified? I have x cubed, and there's nothing left inside the root because there's nothing left over that couldn't escape or didn't get lost trying to escape. So we have this x cubed, and I still have this 5 right here. The 5 hasn't gone anywhere yet. So, simplify the radical. Check. Took care of that. And now we're going to take care of the exponent. So we have 5 cubed, x cubed to the 5th power. And remember, power to a power means we multiply. So my answer is just going to be x to the 15th power. Okay, so I changed the form, I simplified the radical and got my x cubed, and then I took care of the exponent by multiplying those together. And those are your 3 steps that you're going to do with this assignment. Okay, let's try another one. 16v squared to the 1/2 power. Okay, first thing we're going to do, go back to my steps, make sure we're doing them. Let's see, let's erase this. Okay, rewrite the expression. Alright, so that's just where we're going to, the 2 is going to become my root. The 16v squared comes to the side of the radical, and it's all to the first power, because that was my exponent. Okay, so I rewrote the expression. So, check. Now we need to simplify the radical. Okay, so we're looking for pairs of 2 this time. So we're going to break this down into 4 times 4. And I could keep breaking that down into 2, 2, 2, 2. But see how I already have a pair right there? So I can just take that. That 4 doesn't make it, and that 4 escapes. And then I have my 2 v's here. That v doesn't make it, and this v escapes. Okay, and there's nothing left inside the radical, so the radical disappears. So I have a 4v now. That's what I simplified to. Bring this down here. Okay, so there, I just simplified the radical. Now we need to take care of the exponent. In this case, my exponent is just 1. So I have 4v to the first power. 4 to the first power is 4. V to the first power is just v. So my answer is just going to be 4v. And there's my answer right there. Okay? Alright, let's go ahead and move this down here. Okay, let's do it again. Let's erase my steps. Okay, 343x cubed to the 4/3 power. Alright, so the first thing I have to do is rewrite the expression. So this 3 becomes my cube root. And then the 343x cubed comes down. This all goes to the power of 4. Alright, so I just rewrote the expression. Now we need to simplify the radical. Okay, so here's my radical. We're looking for groups of 3. Okay, so we're going to break this down. This is 49 times 7. And 49 is 7 times 7. And there I see I have a group of 3. These 2 don't make it, and that 7 escapes. Okay, here I have an x cubed, which means I have x times x times x. I have a group of 3. Those 2 don't make it, and that x escapes. Okay, do I have anything left over? Doesn't look like it, so my root now disappears. And then, so that 7x is me simplifying the radical. Now I need to take care of the exponent. So the exponent comes with it. 7 to the 4th power. Well, that gives us 2,401. So basically what I'm doing, let me rewrite that just to make sure we're clear on what's happening right there. So this 4 is going to both of these. So this is basically 7 to the 4th power times x to the 4th power. So that 4 comes down to both of them. So 7 to the 4th power is 2,401. And x to the 4th, we just read it as x to the 4th. And there is my answer. Okay, so we're just kind of combining a bunch of things that we've already done into one problem. So go ahead and get started on your assignment. If you do have any questions, please let me know. I will be happy to